Hello, my computer daters. We're gonna do something a little different tonight. Play some Atari games. I've been hankering for Atari. I couldn't tell you why. I actually need to get some stuff running first. Excuse me. My body is really upset with me tonight for some reason. There we go. Everything's set up now. I think. Yeah, there we go. As soon as it loads chat, there we go. Come on. Now we have to see if that displays over top of the stream or not, because that decides whether or not I have to have it open on my phone. What up, Short Talk? What it do? I'm going to show you Pac-Man 8K tonight. Are you hype? You should be. Brack loves Atari. I'm the only one, too. Fuck, hold on. Have I switched audio? I have not. Where the fuck is it? There we go. This actually has good audio too, so I for the first time in history, somebody wants to hear an Atari game. Is it or isn't it? There we go. I guess I'll find out. You'll let me know if videos and audio is working. Look at this. This is 2600. I shit you not. This is all on a 2600. I never would have believed the 2600 could do this. Then again, 8K was a lot of memory. The original Pac-Man was only 4K. So it would have been an expensive cartridge to manufacture. They never could have got that by Tramiel. He wouldn't have approved of it. If you need for reference, go look up original Pac-Man for Atari 2600 on YouTube. If you don't know how bad it was. Listen to that. It has the actual intro instead of the original cartridge went da na na na. That was the whole song. 4 tones on the original cartridge version of 2600 Pac-Man. Well, they got me. That was fast. They did this without any add-in sound chips, by the way. I don't understand how. There's some kind of tool that lets them mix the audio from the 2600 in a predictable way. That gives them just exactly the sound they want. There's a bit of flicker. But you could have fooled me. This looks like a 5200 game. Well, there goes the cherries. How did they fucking do this? It's actually kind of sad because they showed this to the guy who programmed the original version, and he just straight up went, I didn't think of that. It used a lot of tricks he admits he just didn't think of because he only had 2 weeks to make it. Hang on. Just for reference, I gotta show you guys what the original looked like. Otherwise, you don't know how big of a leap this is. This was original Pac-Man for 2600. Cover your ears if you don't want them to bleed. Imagine getting this for Christmas. I think it came out in 1981 or something, or thereabouts. Christmas 81. What the fuck is this? I would have put a head out on Santa. You can see the problem, right? Pac-Man doesn't face the direction he's going if it's up or down. The sounds are wrong, there's no music, there's no attract screen, there's no scores. There's no cutscenes either. The cherries are just a square. AI is bad. The vulnerability period is too short. This is a big part of what set off the game crash in the 80s. The maze was also not accurate to the arcade. I don't know why. It's just fucking awful. This has no reason to exist. And it's not unreasonably brutal either. It was such a big disappointment. People stopped buying, literally just stopped buying games. This and E.T. And it's not the worst game on the 2600, but it's not. It's like a big flagship game. It's Pac-Man. People had Pac-Man fever. They wanted a home version. Nobody fucking had ColecoVision when it came out. Nobody fucking had any of the expensive consoles. Remember, 2600 was like $800 when it came out in adjusted dollars. If you adjust for inflation, it was a spendy already. Atari not being able to deliver on their home console a reasonable adaptation of a game that made them a lot of money in the arcades was a huge failure and shook consumer confidence. This is a vastly, vastly better person. There's also a version called Pac-Man 4K, which is just like this, except without the cutscenes and without the attract screen or title screen. Look at how good that looks. Looks like a Nintendo game. Meow. Little cat. This looks like the arcade. I wish I could. Anyway, I don't know why I'm this way about Atari. I guess I just have I just want to root for the underdog. They're the ultimate underdog. They're like, people are barely aware of them now. Look at this, though. This is a 3D game on a 8-bit console. In 84, I believe, 85. It's 2-player though, and there's no AI, so the bottom player won't do anything. I've got the ball. It's Rocket League, basically. Here's the edge of the court, so the court is not infinite. It renders at about 60 frames a second. Protocol. The court is finite. You can rotate your craft, but only in 90-degree increments. If I shoot... That's the win condition. I forget how to rotate, though. It's one of the other buttons I don't have mapped. You can actually face left and right, though. And it has... If that's not sprite scaling, I don't know what it is. See, there's a side view. That's really smooth. That's either sprite scaling, or because it's all angular shapes, it's being rendered in simple polygons, or there's just a lot of sprites for all 4 views of the vehicle at every possible distance. Either which way. See, there's my back. He turns to face me automatically. So it can't rotate the playfield, but other than that... This is goddamn impressive for when it came out, you gotta admit. It also had the Pokey sound chip, so the music was okay. Yeah, don't... The 5200 was also a mistake. It was also a shitty fucking worthless console. The 7800 was what they should have come out with next. They cleaned up their act and they released a good 8-bit system. But it was too late by then because the lawsuit forced them to delay it for 2 years. So by the time... If they had released it in 84, it would have been before the NES released, which is what they would have had to do to stand any chance at all. If they had just skipped the 5200... and gone straight to 7800 in 82 as originally planned, or 84 rather as originally planned, things would have been very different. Look at this version of Dig Dug. This was primarily competing with ColecoVision, which is a weird sentence to say. Fuck you, bitch ass. It's what you would expect from an 8-bit system. Also inflation porn. I just gotta say what we're all thinking. You see that Twitter user who went viral because DMs leaked where he actually inflated his guts with a bicycle pump through his anus and he had to go to the hospital? Like the bubbles went up his intestines and into his stomach. Which is, I guess, how it would have to work. Oh, no. No, you don't. No, you don't, little bitch. You're fucking dead. What happened to Atari is the danger of what could happen to any company when it gets really comfortable in its dominant position and assumes that it's too big to fail. Its competitors come in and eat its lunch. It also is raping the shit out of consumers trying to sell the worst possible product with the least possible effort for the highest possible price. Games were expensive, and Atari tried to cheap out as much as possible on the development costs. They didn't buy the source code for ports, they just told programmers to eyeball it. Because games were simple enough then, they figured that they could just replicate what they saw. This was a huge selling point though. Games like this were really popular. and cost a lot to play as arcade machines. So being able to have a version in your home you can play as much as you want was a really big selling point. Like, people spent a gigant bucks on Pac-Man, playing at the actual arcade machine, and Space Invaders. I remember I regretted the 5200 as soon as I bought it, and I loved Atari. I was like, this is dog shit. This has to be a mistake. There's got to be something wrong with this. The controllers literally didn't work when they were new. Down didn't reliably work as a direction on the controller. They put this money into developing analog joysticks, and they were analog. They were true analog joysticks. But fucking down didn't work. That seems like a pretty basic failure, doesn't it? Here's the 2600 game. It's also a homebrew, which I think is pretty Kino. It looks like Tron. Or I guess it's not. Maybe not home. It's not homebrew. Never mind. I'm full of shit. It looks really good. Looks like it's an actual 80s Activision game. So anyway, I started blasting. The grid effect is cool. It handles well. It's basically Tempest. It's flat Tempest. Which is probably the closest you can get to Tempest on a console like this. Because it can't render the wireframes. Anyway. This won't run. This is amazing. Zookeeper's amazing. 2600 gets shat on because the graphics are so bad. And because the games are crude and mindless. But there's a couple that are inexplicably deep that you would never expect on such a simple console. Like Star Raiders. Star Raiders is a full-featured, kind of open-world space fighter sim on par with, like, Elite. And it needs a number pad to function. And you need to read the manual to know how to operate it. Or Space Shuttle Simulator. You know how fucking complex Space Shuttle Sim is on 2600? It's out of nowhere. I'm sorry you got that, Short Talk. I'm sorry you didn't get 7800. 7800 was Kino. Let's play some 7800 games. This is what you could have had if your parents had waited. Look at those look at them graphics. Look at them graphics. That's arcade graphics quality. It's roughly as good as NES. It was better at some things than NES and worse at others. You might say, what is it better at? Well, it could handle more sprites on screen by far without flickering. It had a high resolution mode, but it couldn't be used for anything but still images. Some detail of how the processor works made it better for games like Ball Blazer, which required fast translation. Rescue and Fractalus is a good example of a game you could never do on NES. That's another 3D space sim. This was the one to have. This was actually a jump over 2600 too. 5200 was like barely an improvement. Bet you didn't think Red Coins had a history of There were 10 originally, not 8. Anyway. This was another, this was a very late release. This was the closest to an NES game you could really get on Pro System. And it's still not great. Look at these visuals though. Holy moly! October 1747. Burn, witch. I will return. October 1992. I'm back. Pew. Not the pumpkins. You monster. Vengeance is mine. Who got turned it? Take that, Gramps. Oh, Grandpa got sealed inside a pumpkin. That's bad, I guess. 1990. Jesus, that was nearing the end of the NES lifespan. This was way too little, too late. Look at it. Look at this though. This was almost a real game. Look at Grandpa Munster. Atari was always just too little, too late, playing catch-up. Like Sega. Except the Sega was actually ahead for a while in certain areas. Atari was never ahead, they were always behind. This is the kind of thing they needed to have at the launch of the 7800, not in 1990. This is roughly equivalent to an NES game. Ah, bats! Ah, spiders! A dungeon. Fuck off, bat. Fuck off. I don't have any weapons yet. Wolves howl in the distance. Go away, bat. So it was capable of this sort of thing. This is what it could do. But like, by the end of its lifespan, they barely had advanced to where they needed to be when it launched. And the damn thing even launched 2 years late, so there was no saving that situation. They released a shit console, a flop that was not a big enough leap in between the two. They should have. There's too many things you have to change to like. It's not even a worthwhile hypothetical. Sadly. Like, I want to root for Atari because I like to root for the underdog, but they fucked everything up as badly as you possibly could. And yet, it's like people you know who are, a lot of shit's fucked up, but they have potential. I guess I'm one of those people. That's why I identify with Atari. You see potential. You see what could have been. And you want to root for them anyway, just to spite the world that rejected them. You get the idea. This was an 87. This was 87. This came out the same year the PC Engine, the first consumer 16-bit console, came out in Japan. Just to give you an idea of how behind the times they were. The cool thing is you could plug in 2 controllers and play it with twin sticks. There's a little piece of plastic that they sold with it that would pin the 2 controllers down on the table side by side. Keep them steady. So that wasn't where it needed to be. It's homebrew. So be it. Oh, actually no. So not so be it. This was a 87 game. I don't see what's 3D about it. This is a slightly better version of Asteroids. Did you ever move around in Asteroids, or you just stay in place and rotate? I never saw any point in moving around. Anyway, let's go back to the Pro system. This is what kids had whose parents made a weird choice instead of buying NES like everybody else. This is pretty much NES quality. Very strategic. You can choose your loadout. What am I looking at? I can't control anything yet. I kinda can. Actually, that's awful. That's not a great game. Barnyard Blaster, not a great game. There weren't also just weren't a lot of good games on the system. I hate to say it. This one was okay. This one was a light gun game. And it doesn't work, of course. Let's see. Had an okay version of Centipede. Had a good version of a Commando, if I recall correctly. It was basically as good as the, as the NES one. The resolution was different, though. To achieve the speed and lack of sprite flicker, they ran at a lower res. So everything looks chunkier than NES. Like, look at this. This looks like an NES game, just lower res. Right? This could have been competitive in '84. This came out... It's fucking impossible, though. Let me just try to advance. I don't know how to strafe. It scrolls. It's 8-bit. Decent color palette. This is exactly like World War II if it actually happened. This is really fun. I wish war was real. Anyway, you get the idea. Good stuff. Good stuff for an '84 launch. Just too little too late. Sad. Sad face. This one's pretty Kino also. Looks a lot like Lynx games, kind of. They had their own aesthetic. This was also a light gun game, but could be played with D-pad. Not very well. It's like Operation Wolf. If you played that. can shoot their helmets off, which is pretty cool. Fucking ISIS prisoners. Reminds me of a shittier Area 51. Aliens give it an interesting twist. See the helmet fly out? This would have been dope to have. This is... Compare this to, like, Duck Hunt. If you had a choice as a kid in '84, do I want a game where I shoot ducks on the Nintendo, or do I want a war game where I'm a soldier shooting aliens on the Atari, on the Pro System for Chads? You probably would have gone for the Pro System, there was good stuff here. There was good stuff. They had a great version of Donkey Kong. Looks like the NES version. That is the 2600 sound chip you're hearing, though. Tramiel didn't think the 7800 needed a sound chip. So he just didn't put one in there. If you wanted your game to have a good sound, you had to shell out extra money, about $1 a cart, to have the Pokey sound chip, of which only a few games did. That was one of the bad choices they made. You really, as much as I love to root for the underdog, nobody made worse choices than Atari. It's really hard to do worse. Dark Chambers was actually pretty cool. It's a Gauntlet game. Look at that. If you like Gauntlet, it's the same thing. They just didn't own the rights to the name. Even though I think they've made the Gauntlet in the arcades. The original co-op horde shooter. Left 4 Dead before there was Left 4 Dead. Because that's what it is. It's a horde shooter. And it looks roughly as you would expect for a game of like 1984. If that's when it had come out. Which is when it was ready for release too. It's just there's a lawsuit. Which is Atari's own fault because they were shady as fuck. Also, the monsters don't die. They become weaker monsters when you injure them. Did you notice that? Interesting concept. What's good, Filthy? We were playing Atari games. So nobody fucking streams Atari. Nobody cares about Atari except me. I'm trying to show they could have been a contender. If it wasn't for Jack Tramiel and it wasn't for Atari being shady as fuck all the time and getting sued such that it delayed the release of the 7800 for 2 years from 84 to 86, they could have been a contender. They absolutely could have competed with the NES if they came out 1 year before. So hit Jack Tramiel with a car. Pay your programmers. Don't get sued. Don't release the 5200. Release the 7800 instead on time, and then maybe, or at least maybe you don't beat the NES, but you also don't die as quick. Oh, Weeb. Let me show you something beautiful and magic. You probably know how fucking shit the 2600 version of Pac-Man is, right? Well, somebody made a vastly improved Pac-Man based on the using 8K of memory. The 4K version also exists and looks just as good, but doesn't have the attract screen or the cutscenes. Feast your eyes on this shit. This runs on original hardware, including the music, which does not require a sound chip. You mean 8K? You own it on the cartridge? They did print it to carts and released it physically, if I recall. You have to buy it from Champ Games or Songbird or Goat Games. You bitch! I wanted that cherry. Look at how good this looks! This is what we could have had! Jack Tramiel, can you hear me? Can you hear in hell? You fucking fat hairy Wario? Was it worth it? To make slightly more money? He's like, yeah, yes! Yes, it was! Yeah, I'm Jack Tramiel! Don't read his early life on Wikipedia, by the way. Shit. WoW is right. I can't believe this is actually on 2600. Look how round Pac-Man is! You haven't even seen the cutscenes yet. And like I said, there's a 4K version which just doesn't have the title screen or cutscenes. But it looks this good, and 4K is how much the original Pac-Man used up. So they absolutely could have released this and wouldn't have cost them any more. You fucking bitch titty. I totally got that pill. Childhood is eating the power pellets to kill the ghosts. Adulthood is eating the power pellets to get them off your back while you chomp the regular pellets. Just to make sparse use of that name. Like so. Oh, I didn't get the cherries. It's not just you. Look at this. Cutscenes. Look at how round Big Pac-Man is. How did they fucking do this on 2600? You have to draw sprites with, like, line interrupts. They got the pixels so small. I hope so, too. I heard about that. It's got a new menu now. Which indicates to me they're getting ready to release Deckard, because the new SteamVR has a battery indicator in the code. Give me that fruit. Don't you fuck me. Don't you fuck me. I'm trying to get the fruit. Here we go. Pac-Man is still just a damn good game on any platform. It's one of the very few games that was even on 2600 that's timeless enough that it's still fun to play today. Not in a nostalgic way. It's fun in the way Minecraft is fun. If that makes sense. Like, with the graphics being shit does not take away from the fact that the basic formula is endlessly entertaining. It's a monster maze, which is what 90% of horror games are. It's just you trying to outrun monsters and collect items. There will be variations on this game for as long as there are video games. There's like less than a dozen games like that too, which remain enduringly fun, that were discovered by trial and error by Atari devs working with fucking nothing in the way of hardware capacity, trying to find what fun could be had on such a simple device, which is invaluable experimentation. They discovered the gameplay loops that are still iterated on today, because they had to do more with less. And you can see their legacy in smartphone games. A lot of smartphone games are just basically the gameplay formulas from Atari games from decades and decades ago. My fruit, I want to cry. I barely get any ghost time now. That didn't turn away, I thought it was going to do. It's not even a real sentence. Notice as I get close to the pellet, they shit their pants and go the other way. Yeah, that's right, you better. I didn't even get the fruit. Bitch titties. Fuck. Game over? Game over. Anyway, look at how fucking good that is. And it's funny, but I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of sad. They showed this to the original dev of Pac-Man 2600, and he just kind of... He didn't cry, but he did on the inside, I feel. He was just like, oh, wow. I see how he did this now, and he's looking at the code, and he's like, I just didn't think of this. I had 2 weeks to make it. Atari gave us really tight deadlines, trying to squeeze the most profit out of games as an industry, not giving a shit about the quality. Here's why you need a pro system, a 7800 filthy weeb. Look at the graphics on this, and it's actually a really fun game. Legit, this is another one that's kind of timeless, because it's just Rocket League. It's 3D Rocket League on an 8-bit machine. It has a bounded court. It's a finite court. It's not an infinite plane like 3D World Runner. You can score goals and the moving goalposts. Those goalposts move more than a Twitter argument. There's what looks like scaled sprites. I can't tell if it really is scaled sprites, but look at the view on the bottom. And it turns to look at you. It turns 90 degrees. See, look. And it either has sprites for every possible distance, which I think is what it's actually doing, or it's actually scaling sprites, or it's using filled vectors, which would be really implausible on an 8-bit machine. Because even Genesis struggled to do polygons. This was a shitload of fun with 2 people. This was just endlessly fun with 2 people. In the way that Rocket League is, because that's what it is. It's just 3D soccer with vehicles. Now the other player has it, and to get it back, you just ram into him. And you automatically turn to face the other guy. That explains that. Anyway, if that's not impressive, I don't know what is. There is a version on NES, but it looks markedly worse. Because there were just different strengths and weaknesses. Remember, at this point, Atari still believed that what consumers wanted was arcade-perfect ports in the home. Like stuff like RPGs wasn't even on their radar. They were like Sega with the Saturn and Dreamcast, where Sega was just porting arcade games and really ignoring, sticking their head in the sand about like story-driven single-player titles. And paying the price for it, ultimately. Dig Dug is a great game. There are just so few truly timeless great games, is the problem, compared to NES, which had a billion of them. Karateka sucks. Klax is also kind of bad. Mario Brothers is a great port. Great port. Midnight Mutants is an interesting game if you knew what you were doing. Yes, Pac-Man is good. This is also an 87 game, so compare this to 2600 Pac-Man, which we just saw. It's actually not that much better, which only makes the 2600 port of Pac-Man even more impressive. What did they even change? Bitch titties. I prefer the feel of this one, actually, the original Pac-Man. You know what this was for? This is for repressed teenagers, so they didn't feel weird getting a boner to Pac-Man. It's like, it's not gay if Pac-Man's a girl. Although, have you seen Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man in the same room? I'm just saying. Miss Pac-Man might be a trans icon. So this is what you missed out on, if anything. In the not often explored console war between Master System, NES, and 7800, which only happened because 7800 got delayed. I'll never not be salty about that, and a lot of things. It hurts me. It hurts my soul. I tend to pick losers. Like I chose. I bought a 5200, which is a terrible, terrible financial choice for a kid spending his allowance. I chose Genesis over Super Nintendo, which I don't regret, actually. That one was good enough to where it didn't really matter which one you chose. You had great games on either one. And they had a lot of cross-platform titles. I chose Dreamcast. We know what happened with that. I chose GameCube. I never got a PS2. I had a TurboGrafx 16, I had a 32X, I had a 3DO. There's an explanation for those, though. My dad wouldn't buy me games, so I had to spend what little allowance money and lawn mowing money I had, which meant it was cheaper to buy failed consoles. Indeed, Aspuds. Oh, Samantha Roney, haven't seen you in a long time. Hope things are going well. Pit Fighters fucking sucks. Don't ever play that one. This one... Look at this! Look at that! It's good graphics for an 8-bit machine. I think. I forget what. Oh, this is a top-down shooter. It gets harder to defend when you see stuff like this and compare it to like R-Type. Very, very basic. Very basic. That also had a very basic port of Xevious, which NES also had. They had a lot of cross-platform titles. It also hurts me to think of what could have been if Atari had secured the deal to distribute the NES, and it had been the Atari Entertainment System in the U.S., like was originally going to happen. Donkey Kong Jr. also was on NES. Like, a lot of the early NES titles are in common with the 7800. Ninja Golf is actually an iconic game. A winning concept. After many long years of ninja training, you're finally ready for the most difficult test of all. 9 holes of Ninja Golf. So it's got parallax scrolling, you'll notice. Okay, sure again. Not really parallax. It's like the fake parallax scrolling that was in Mega Man and Ninja Gaiden. Still pretty cool stuff. Frogs? I don't know. This seems like it would be something that would come out as a homebrew much later on, but this was a title from that period. This could have been a killer app if it was actually good. It's very, very memorable. Anyway. It's weird to think about how all this stuff came out. And Atari had an 8-bit machine that was NES-like. And then it skipped directly from there to Jaguar. That's quite a fucking large jump from 7800 to Jaguar. 8-bit to quote-unquote 64-bit. We'll call it 32-bit to be generous. Straight from 8 to 32. I got the dog. Go to the phone. Instructions. Be there on time. Mr. Big. Who kidnaps a dog? I guess dog naps. This was the closest thing to like a Mario Bros. Game it had. I guess it had Pac-Land. This really does look like a pretty typical NES game though, doesn't it? So it could do these kinds of games, scrolling games. There's a parallel universe somewhere in which the 7800 competed with the NES. I can't even fantasize that it would have beaten it. Like, the only possible scenario where that happens is where Atari gets to distribute the NES. The NES was just a better machine. But I can imagine. Listen to that music. Like, it really suffered from not having a good sound chip. They thought it was economical to leave out the sound chip and just use the 2600 integrated circuit for backwards compatibility and for 7800 sound, which was a terrible mistake. I want to say what were they thinking, but if you let yourself fall into the trap of asking what were they thinking with Atari, you'll never stop. It just hurts to think about. I forget if this is one I think it is. Yeah, this is the 3D tower game. Look at the graphics on this one. Oh shit, I couldn't tell that wasn't a platform. You know, submersible. I'm really bad at this. How am I so bad at this? What did I push to go through doors? What the fuck is happening? Well, anyway, you get the idea. It's a rotating effect. That's not specific to 7800. That was also seen in Kirby. Remember the Kirby tower level? A couple NES games use that trick, actually. Look at those milkers. Those are 1989 milkers. 89 is when the TurboGrafx 16 came out in the United States, for reference. So this game came out in the same year that the first 16-bit home console came out in the United States. Also, 89 is when the Sega Genesis came out in Japan. So that, to give you a sense of how far behind they were. This is what worked for Atari for many years. Just trying to give players arcade-accurate ports at home. And they thought, well, let's just double down. That worked for us in the past. Why wouldn't that keep working? Don't players still want arcade ports? And they did. But the thing is, NES had those too. But that's not all it had. It also had games made just for console that were focused on the single-player at-home experience. This is what's really happening in Russia right now. Less orange, though, I think. Like, exactly like that. One shot, really? These must be Russian tanks. We already saw that one. We already saw that one. We already saw. This was about on par with what early DOS games looked like. More colors, though. Shit fucking sound. Oh, this actually requires the light gun. Anyway, that's enough for Atari for this evening. Maybe we'll do a TurboGrafx evening one of these streams. There's a lot of great TurboGrafx games that get overlooked and slept on. It also was the only game ever to have a successful add-on, to my knowledge. A lot of people bought the CD add-on. It came out early enough in the life of the system that most of the games came out on CD, or most of the good games. So you really had to have the CD add-on. It was reasonably priced. It was a significant improvement. What they should have done, I'm going to play Armchair Historian here again. Since the CD add-on was already out in Japan, when they were beginning to launch the TurboGrafx in America, they should have just not launched the regular console. They should have launched the Turbo Duo as a dedicated CD-based 16-bit console, and that had that be the only TurboGrafx in America. So I'm gonna switch to VR now. Just give me a moment. Fucking cat. Meow. What do you want, kitten cat? Am I not good enough to you? I'm so good to you. Don't even whine about it. Huh. Steam VR does not want to cooperate. Oh, I guess it is already running. It just doesn't show up. That's weird. Is this the new Steam VR or did it not update? Base station error. Base station has developed internal error. It shouldn't be doing that. Oh, no, there isn't actually a base station error, you foolish thing. Is this... What's going on here? Both base stations show green light. I also RMA'd one. It's still showing the base... Could it be that the update to the software is what caused that and my OG base station was never broken? How do I do that? Alright, let me do that. I think I remember how. I don't remember how to do it. Settings, developer settings. Reset warnings. No, that's not it. How do I do it? You have to pick beta branch. Yeah, but how? Betas. I'm looking in library. I don't see Steam VR. Oh, here it is. Never mind. It was collapsed. I am opted in. I'm opted into the Steam VR beta update. No, it looks the same to me. It still says base station error too. That I have. What version number is it? It says to me, Steam VR Beta 2.0.1. Is that right? I'll turn off mouse house. I want to balance the camera. Good idea. Let me power cycle these. Why not work? Did I anger Gabe? What must I sacrifice to please Gaben? Excuse me. Both the base stations show up. Both have green lights. The warning is gone. I'm starting to think I RMA'd the other base station for no reason. Which means that I in the future, if I need to RMA anything else, they'll be like, nope, we let you RMA that base station out of warranty. That's the last freebie you get. I could have wasted it when I could have just because this one had the same problem when I plugged it in, but then it fixed itself once I went through the steps in the fucking menu. I don't see anything different. I must simply not have the update, actually. We were just arguing about this. Not you and me. Where the fuck is my OVR drop? You and I weren't arguing. Me and some communist-leaning person were arguing about how she thought it was bad that Steam has a de facto monopoly just because it got in the door first and it provided a way better service than anyone else and gives way better deals to consumers. I'm like, that's good. They deserve that. The way to take them down is to provide a better service that's competitive with them. And if you can't do that, that's not their problem. That's your problem. Is it rendering? Okay, it's rendering now. The in-game menu does not look different at all. I'm starting to think I'm doing something wrong. This might be another one where I can't upload it because I don't do much other than troubleshoot the whole stream. I hope not. I feel like we didn't waste too much time doing that. People will click off, though, in a hurry. So what's new besides... are there performance increases? That's what I would be looking for. Doesn't feel any different. Runs perfectly smooth, as it usually does. Oh, fuck this puzzle. Remember this one? No, we're not doing that again. We wasted the whole last stream on that one and we got nowhere. I think I'm fucking IQ bottlenecked at this stage of the game. How am I gonna afford Deckard? I got a guy who has a Vive who I could sell my Index headset to, because that would still be an upgrade for him and he could still use the wands. And he has said he's willing to do that for me. Then I would need a small loan of $1 million. Small loan of $1 million to make up the difference. What fans? Are you talking, David? Can you hear the ones in the background? Oh, you mean the puzzle? Yeah. God damn them indeed. But really, I'm the problem. I'm not too proud to admit when I'm fucking outclassed. This is running noticeably a little bit better than it normally does while streaming. Maybe that's attributable to the update, or maybe I'm just experiencing... Maybe I'm just suggestible. Damn, shawty. Wasn't expecting that. Egyptians knew what was good in life. Although Cleopatra was Greek, and there was a lot of drama about that on Twitter earlier. I've been on Game Dev Twitter because I've been wanting to talk to the people who know what they're doing with Godot. Because I'm playing around with Godot, just importing models into it randomly, and not much else so far. And there's a lot of drama about Unity. But a lot of people are just pissed because Steam takes a 30% cut. I'm like, yeah, because they provide that much service. I mean, look at their return windows. Look at the fact you can return any game within 2 hours. The fact that they make their own hardware. They market it. They distribute it. And having a war chest lets them eat losses in case something flops, like the Steam machine or the Steam controller. Normally, I'm all for competition, but when it comes to Gaben, I'm a benevolent monarchist. Eagle's Nest. I can't tell if this is running better if I'm imagining it. Let me check the settings. 200% super sampling, which is about where you stop noticing any benefit. Motion smoothing is on. 90 FPS cap. Let me try 120. Well, that feels weird. I don't like that. It mostly hits 120, but not consistently enough that it doesn't hiccup. I'll wait until I have a 4090 for that. Or a 5090, which has been announced and supposedly has performance equivalent to... nope, it's not any better. I don't actually have the new firmware. Nothing's different, never mind. I didn't think this through before starting to play this, that eventually it would humiliate me and expose me as a brainlet the further I got into the game. People warned me that the puzzles get really, really difficult, and I didn't listen. I'm usually pretty good at puzzle games. Sincerely, it did not occur to me as an issue. But yes, indeed, it eventually gets difficult enough I can't fucking continue. I do know I want Deckard. I definitely want Deckard, because I love my index. And depending on how big of an increase the specs are, it looks like my hardware can handle it, because I'm running at 200% and consistently hitting 90. I can do 100% at 90 with Deckard, I think. But that'll depend largely not just on resolution, but on FOV, because FOV is what I want most out of a new headset. I shouldn't even be talking about this broke-ass MFer that I am. But not to be depressing, but escapism is important to a fellow in my position. What the fuck are you supposed to do here? What does that even power? Oh, it powers the fan. I'm going to come back to this. We might have hit the end of the game functionally for my poor little simian brain. I do really want standalone. I really liked having a Quest and being able to travel with it. But I got rid of my Quest 1. Basically, the microsecond they started requiring logins to use it. That was the line I wouldn't cross, is requiring us to be logged into a Facebook, because I had already stopped using Facebook. I had a Facebook to use with it. It's not that was an issue, that I was in any danger of being banned based on my Facebook content, which is really middle of the road milquetoast stuff. It's just the principle. I really felt like they were closing the vice. Zuckerberg was getting ready to start doing some butt fucking. And I wanted out. I wanted to jump. I felt that way basically ever since Quest. I mean, not Quest, CV1. As soon as Facebook bought Oculus, I was like, uh-oh, motherfucking SpaghettiOs. I don't like where this is going. And I was right. I wasn't going to like where they were going, but I already had the CV1. Vive was $200 more and had shitty controllers. So I just kind of pinched my nose and stuck it out and dabbled with Steam VR by using the Steam support for Oculus, which was not great. It was not great for a long time. But eventually I had enough. I was like, this is gonna get worse. It's not gonna get better. Revive is a band-aid, and the fact that Oculus tried to block Revive does not bode well for the future. They're going to wait till we are not paying attention anymore, and then they're going to close the device again. It's just a frog in a brought to boil in a pan scenario. I can't beat any of these. Actually, that's not true. I beat that one. Some of these are inexplicably easy. So I sold the Quest, even though I really liked being able to... What I like about Standalone is being able to demo it to people who don't have VR. Because I took my entire computer over to a party that my ex-girlfriend threw when we were still dating, just to demo it to people. To various... Actually, this wasn't my ex-girlfriend. I got her confused. I get women confused sometimes. That sounds really bad. That is bad. Never mind. I didn't say that. That was you. You misremembered. And you believe me. Anyways, this was... Oh, yeah. This was someone I dated one time and stayed friends with. I took it over to her party, on Christmas party, at her house. And people were lining up to try it. And this one guy was fucking mind blown. He played this train station demo where you could double hand a shotgun and cock it to reload. And he was like, I didn't expect it to be good. I'm shocked. This is actually good. I'm like, what did you think it would be? It's like, I thought it would be like looking through goggles at a 3D TV. Like, he imagined it being much shittier in his mind than it really was. And the effect that it gives you is more than the sum of its parts. The tracking, the stereoscopy, the sense of presence, the hand controllers and whatnot. And it really wows people who have a low opinion of it starting out, despite never having tried it. It's really fun being the VR wizard at a gathering. People are like, okay, alright, I'm going to try this thing that I talk shit about online that I've completely dismissed out of hand. Basically since 2016. And then they try it and their worldview is completely fucking unsettled. And that's cool. I like being able to do that. Okay, so that can't go through fences. I see another one over there. I don't see how to get it. Is that in a different puzzle area? Yes, it is. Never mind. I see a fan there that will blow the cube. If I can get the beam from there to there. Oh, you know what I can do? I can just step on it myself. Never mind, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid and so sexy, it's outrageous. How am I not illegal? There we go. That easy. And this will eventually be used to elevate the repeater. This is going to sound stupid. And it is stupid. But I sometimes like to have VR when camping. Just as a break from what I'm doing. That's the whole puzzle? Okay. See, I have no one to blame. There's such well-designed puzzles that when I can't figure it out, it's just because I'm stupid and square-brained. I thought there'd be at least one more step. What? Whoa, wait a minute. Hang the fuck on. And shut the front door, by the way. There's a red laser. I don't see where it comes from, though. I don't see where there's a red laser source. Somewhere there's a red laser source, and that's how you get into this room, I believe. Or you're able to use the fan? No, that's pointed the wrong way. You have to be able to get in this way somehow. Huh. That doesn't do anything. What the fuck, man? Where is there a red one? Let me think about this. If I put a cube over here. Can I go through here if I have a cube here? No, that doesn't make sense. It wouldn't let me do that. I don't see a ladder to get out either. That doesn't make sense. How do you... Once you get in there, how do you get out? And what is the red laser about? Oh, you know where it is? It's probably behind the fan. No, it's not. What the fuck? I'm fucking bean boozled. That's a real marketing term, by the way. Let me tell you a story of consumer electronics. When I was working at a call center, I was looking for a way to cook my meals at my desk, so I wouldn't have to use what little limited break time I had to walk to the break room, which was down a floor. And you used up most of your break time just walking between the floors. And at that time, Heinz was experimenting with a microwave, like a tiny little microwave, and it was just large enough that it could microwave a little cup of beans. And it was like the size of a yogurt cup. I don't know what else you were supposed to cook in there. I guess nothing else would fit. So they had you buy the nads because you had to keep buying their beans because their beans were the only thing that would fucking fit in the beans-a-wave. That's a real word. If you bean with a Z, Beanz AWAVE, beans-a-wave, it was the name of the product, which was interesting to me only in that it was the smallest consumer application of a magnetron I had ever seen. I remember I was trying to shrink everything down. I'm like the shrinking villain from Space Ghost. I'll make you fun-sized. Reducto is his name. I'm always trying to shrink shit down so I can carry more abilities and shit with me. Can I take this off here? I can. That's gotta be key. That's gotta be what you're supposed to do. But I don't see anything to do with it. This makes me feel smart and stupid at the same time, and I'm really worried. Makes me doubt my sanity. Could you let go? It's stuck to my hand again. That doesn't bode well. Nothing over here. Here. That doesn't get anything. That does nothing for you. This gets you into here. But you can't stop on top of the thing. You can't stop up there, otherwise you could jump onto the crates. Fuck. This one's a toughie. That's up there. Can I stack the crates? No, I can't do that. Gotta block that laser somehow. Maybe... Have I missed a fan socket on the floor somewhere? That accomplished nothing. Less than nothing. Let me see if the pieces I have will get me any further or unlock any additional items. So we're not just fucking around the same place this whole time. Also, what convinces me I should get Deckard if it's a big jump over Index is that I have never regretted investing money, even money I didn't have, in high-end VR. I'm the target audience for VR. I understand what its strengths are. It's not just about games, it's about simulations and experiences you can't have any other way. I have many hundreds of times stopped and looked at spectacles like this and thought to myself, I'm glad I bought this headset. I'm smart. This was a good investment. That's not true for everybody. A lot of people don't use it. It sits on a shelf collecting dust. If that's you, then by all means, don't blow money. Sure enough, don't blow money you don't have on it. But for people for whom VR is really intended, it's a different story, I feel. Fucking go where I want you to. What is that? What the fuck is that? Stop and play. What? What does that get me? Is that like pause time? Or what does that do? There's also a couple of doorways that are blocked off with wood, which, being a robot, you would think I could just effortlessly smash through. Yeah! 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 Taste the wrath of my dragon kung fu. But you can't actually do that. That doesn't do anything. Short talk, I could always sell you my index. Then again, you wouldn't have controllers for it because I'm keeping these to use with the Deckard. Assuming the Deckard continues to use Knuckles. Which I don't see why it would not use Knuckles. Did I open this already? I did. What was in there? Was anything good in there? Hello? Ooh, oh no, it's just this shit. Which I have almost none of the stars I need for. Cool story. Listen to me talking about buying a new VR headset when I'm going to donate blood plasma in 2 days. I always wondered about that in cyberpunk stories. How you would have like homeless people with high-end VR equipment in the future. Like, surely that they wouldn't be able to buy that. Surely they would also have better priorities like food. Then again, there's also food pantries. The one closest to me is the church, though, so I have to find a different one. Because my skin burns if I go into churches. What is this, That does nothing? My wish list for Index, or for Deckard, is at least a 200-degree field of view. I don't expect like Vario resolution, but I expect 4K per eye minimum. I consider that the modern baseline. Like, there's a lot of other headsets that are there or close to there, to where there's not a good justification why Deckard shouldn't have at least that much. I expect wireless functionality, not just standalone, but like to your computer. Can I walk through this? No, I can't. I don't know why I thought that would let me do that. I'm expecting it to cost the same, though. Maybe I'm being unrealistic. I guess what remains to be seen is if they sell a bundle with Knuckles controllers, in which case I can sell my headset, including the controllers, to someone who wants an index. And use that money towards the new headset. You know what? I bet you fucking do. This is stupid. If this works, I'm going to be actually angry. This seems like this shouldn't work. No, that's actually not what you do. I'm shook. I guess you do this. And use that as a stepping stone. Sure enough. I thought maybe you'd use it to disrupt like a laser up here or something. This is just a little holding zone, I guess. Then I do the same thing, but I swap these two. This one's obvious so far. That's famous last words. So I think for people who bought VR and then don't use it much, it's not a good buy. But for someone like me, I use it all the fucking time instead of living a real life. So for me, it would be money well spent. I only don't buy one of those like rumble vests because it's not a good value for the money. It's just like a massage chair for your car, like the seat covers, but in a vest form, and it's way overpriced for what it is. So that does not hold as much interest for me. I also don't see the point of a catwalk VR because I don't fucking have space for it. It would have to take the place of my computer chair. I'm not quite on that level of dedication. And don't worry, Short Talk, you're not the friend I'm talking about when I say someone agreed to buy my index. I'm talking about someone else I know in person actually has agreed to buy my index. At full price, I might add, being that I've taken great care of it. That's $500 for the headset alone. Then, if you agree to it, I would take out a loan from you and pay it back in the usual timely manner to cover the remaining cost. Then I can stream. Actually, that won't benefit the stream at all. I can't even claim that. It'll look the same on your end. The fuck? What am I supposed to... Oh, this is supposed to go here. He's going here somewhere. I don't know where yet. I still wonder how the standalone is supposed to work. I'm really confused because they put all this money into making x86 power efficient and developing their own x86 based hard compute for the fucking Steam Deck, and now they're not going to use it in the Deckard? Rumor says it's ARM based. The only way that makes sense to me is if they include developer tools for easily and quickly porting games that work on the Proton compatibility layer from x86 to ARM. How is that going to work? Circumstances under which I will not buy the Deckard include insignificant improvement to resolution, insignificant improvement to field of view, that's about it. Also, if it's prohibitively expensive. You know me though. I'm a butt slut for Gaben and for Valve hardware. In a big way. Can I do... Will it let me do this? Surely not. Yeah, no, it won't. Never mind. I don't know why I thought it would. Could you stop skipping, please? It would be great if you could just stop doing that. Okay, you know what I think I need to do? Oh, I get it. I get you now. Okay. This goes on this end. So I can grab this guy and bring it with me to open the blue door, which gives me a second repeater. See, I love VR. I use it all the time, and I enjoy every minute of it. I waited for VR the longest time with the bluest balls you've ever seen outside of a Smurf porn. I doubt it'll be ARM 2, but that's what the credible rumors say so, if that moves you at all. Like the guy who leaked a bunch of other true stuff. My suspicion is that it'll be Steam Deck hardware, like you, I assume, have also concluded. I don't see how it could not be. I would be very fucking surprised if that's not what it is. And now I believe what I have to do is boost one of these into the air on a block. I can remove this from here now, because that doesn't go anywhere. I believe I can fly. I believe I am... Actually, this might be easier than I'm making it. I thought maybe you had to boost the red thing to get line of sight. It still seems like the right answer to try that way. I'm going to try the complex way first. Would you be interested in buying my headset at a discount if I can't get my IRL buddy to buy it if he decides to renege on that deal? Short talk. Does that tickle your balls as a possibility? It is in superb condition. The only time it gave me a scare is when it had those what looked like square burn-in, but that turned out to be something that fixes itself if you simply if you turn it away from the indoor light source. Will that work? Hang on. That does work. Is that really what you do, though? That seems R-worded. That seems like that shouldn't be the answer. It might not be. Also, there's another way to do this. But my gut suspects it's this way. It looks like that's what you fucking do, actually. Sure enough. What I fucking tell you. Who's the puzzle master? Bitches with 3 Z's. I knew you boosted it because there wasn't enough to go around the corners. Here's the deal. If you jump away from WMR, I'll sell you the whole kit at a discount if I can't sell it to my pal, including the knuckles, under the condition that the Deckard comes with its own controllers. Because then I have controllers anyway and it's taken care of. If the Deckard has new controllers, which I assume it would have to, because if it's inside-out tracking and standalone, it shouldn't work out of the box with knuckles unless you're using it tethered. If that's the case, then I'll just buy the full kit. And I could sell you this kit at a discount and use the money towards that. Cross one off the list. Am I stupid? This is the first time I noticed the pyramid. It's the biggest thing around. Wait for that to blow over. There we go. Don't answer that. That is quite a large pyramid, however. It's skipping a lot now. Okay. You mean leaks? The leak is basically just that the new Steam VR has code in it for a battery indicator, that which led people to conclude, and also Valve has like patents or some shit happened where it indicates that they're releasing new hardware of some kind shortly. Oh shit. Come on, really? Hold on. It lets me do that, okay. I think I can see from here that I only need to really stop one of them. There we go. Hang on. I don't think I have it right yet. Can I jump while holding this? I can. Cool, okay. Shit, fuck. It's all in the mind. So I can put I can ride around on top of them if I put one of these on their head. But that's a dicey proposition. But I can also grab the cube from down there, can't I? Well, let me grab this one? Yes, it will. I cracked the code. Are you impressed? You should be. Oh, but I still gotta grab those. And bring them with me, don't I? That's the essence of this puzzle. What if I did that and would let me jump over the wall, I wonder? I bet that's what the star is. Yep, I cracked it. Why must I be a broke-ass MFer with expensive hobbies and friends who enable me? Here we go. That wasn't so bad. You just had to think sideways. It hurts. Of course, this is all going to be egg in my face if the new hardware Valve announces is just Steam Controller 2 or some shit and not a new headset. They have said don't expect a new Steam Deck for a couple of years, which to me means 2 or 3. So I think their focus is going to be on optimizing the existing hardware with software updates, not on trying to keep pace with new game releases by releasing new hardware. Oh, me so hungry. Why did I think I could bulk and lift weights on such a meager budget? What's a cheap source of protein? Don't say beans. I've been eating chili and I've been farting up a storm. I'm just marinating in my own cloud. Machine switched on and abandoned long ago. How would I explain what I see? Perhaps you're asking the wrong question. Perhaps you have no hope of explaining it. Maybe not on my own. Iterative. What problem it was built to solve? You're trying to outsmart the guy in the archive. The answer to we got some fucking robot philosophers here. You're not gonna figure it out, Robotomatrons. Cope harder. What I do is I put cheese in Shinra Mune. You ever have Shinra Mune Black? It comes in the weirdly shaped... It's the South Korean ramen. Which actually that's how they eat it and where I got the idea from. It's weirdly good also. Because for some reason, because American cheese isn't real cheese... I don't know what it is. It doesn't just melt. It fucking disintegrates into the broth and becomes one with the broth. It just thickens up the broth and makes it taste milky. Don't overthink it or you won't want to try it. It's like trying to understand why chocolate cereal turns milk purple instead of brown. Just don't trouble yourself. Some knowledge, after all, is unfit for human minds. Oh, you know what I can do? Ah, so how smart of you. Ah! 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 That was effortless. My rhymes are effortless. I wasn't built for less. I don't go to shop and pay less. Built like a flying buttress. Flirt with the waitress so I can undress her delicious chest. Her treasure chest would have been a better rhyme. I've been rapping on Twitter recently just for fun. Just doing foul, reprehensible raps. About like raps and whatnot. And it tests pretty well. I might continue doing it just to drive engagement and get my follower count up. Literally all I do is I pick a word relevant to what someone has said. I go to someone who has a lot of views because they have a lot of followers. And I comment on what their post says, but I do it in the form of a rap. And how I do it is I just look up every word that rhymes with a word that's related to what the post is about, and then I write like a little story with the cadence of a freestyle rap using all the rhyming words. It's a fairly simple, repeatable formula. People always think it's funny and always respond well to it. I can't repeat some of the stuff I rapped here on Twitter. No particular reason. And you believe that. Let's have a look. Samsara, Terminator here, logic. Final memory dump. Here I cannot bend the world to my will. Faced with eternal torment, I see that overcoming these challenges will not free me from them. True freedom must come from detachment, from the struggle for answers. That's kind of dark. And that's one solution to the problem, is to take yourself out of the equation. Not what I recommend, though. They were wrong. There is an answer. Natural selection selects quickest against the suicidal. You can't win if you don't play. There's another way to say that. I hate egg also. I'm making life harder for myself than it needs to be by hating eggs, aren't I? It's okay to say that. It's absolutely true. I'm not really built for living this life. I would need to enjoy foods that are cheap and high in protein, and eggs are definitely one of them. If I could bring myself to love eggs, life would be easier. Certainly would be. But I fucking hate eggs. They smell like farts. They have sulfur smell. I just cannot get past that. What do I do with those guys? Oh, I've done this before. I have to stagger their animations. I'm craving Shinra Mune now. What I like about it is that it's got an understated broth flavor. A lot of Asian ramen brands, for some reason, that are in competition to fucking blow your taste buds out, to make the most obnoxious, offensive, spicy, like a combination of hot peppers and like lime, citrus and hot peppers, like ultimate hot chicken. Ultimate chili lime, and it's like toxic waste. It makes me tear up and makes my nose dribble every time I fucking eat it. I hate it. If I was like 13 years old, I would have been like, wow, awesome. This is great. That's not me anymore. That's not who I am. Let's check over here a little bit. Shinra Mune is, I think, mushroom-based broth. It's very savory. It's not offensively, like, spicy. It's a little bit spicy. It's, like, a good amount of spicy. Not a nasty, disgusting, horrible... Like, some of those broths in the extreme spicy ramens taste like fucking battery acid. I bought a bunch of survival food, which was stupid of me because it's not survival food. I never should have done that. That's misunderstanding the value proposition of ramen. There's no nutrition in ramen. It's just for when you want noodles and don't want to spend money. That's literally all it's good for. I missed this, but how did I miss this before? Not Shinramune. Shinramune. I actually love mushroom flavor, which is weird and unfortunate that I can't stand mushroom texture. Mushroom texture is like you're eating a piece of brain. It's like this soft, jiggly, spongy texture that just sends shivers down my spine. I can't stand to eat mushrooms, but I love their savory flavor in mushroom broth. I love mushroom broth. Mushroom broth. Give me as much of that as you care to. That worked out nicely. How many more times can you use that trick, though? Uh-oh. What's the advantage of me being able to go through here? I don't necessarily see any. Oh, there's one of these in here. Fucking since when? How do you get there? There's a gate. Does that open up? I can't say for sure why. My gut tells me, however, there's some kind of benefit to be had from gaining the ability and this is useless after I move this. I've already been through there and I've done everything there is to do in there. What's the benefit, though, of being able to go through here unimpeded? Like so. So now I can go straight through here. So what? What does that get me? Nothing. Which means I must be misunderstanding something. Maybe... That's where I got the keys from. In there. I don't need to go in there anymore. This is the exit gate. There's a double force field here I can't open. Maybe the two force field disruptors have something to do with that. What's some other good cheap... Oh, there we go. Some good cheap comfort foods. I like rice crackers. Chinese rice crackers or Japanese. I forget who makes them. You can, if you go to the bulk food store, they actually have one bin that's just the spicy boomerangs. You know what I'm talking about, right? All my homies love the spicy boomerangs. If you don't fucking know what I'm talking about, I don't know what to tell you. The little orange wedge pieces. I can't carry this through with me either. So what's the point of that? So I can go from here to here. So what? Maybe I can rescue this one. I still have to get here though somehow, don't I? That's where the second or the third one is. I think I still have to do that. I think I open up this puzzle. I go through there. I get the third force field disruptor. Oh, I can't do that though because that's there. Shit! What the fuck? Let me try something. If I can get through there. Then I can liberate another one. Right? But I need to bring two with me, though. Then eventually, once I have the third one, I can open up this path and bring the third one out through here to open up the final one. I think I have it figured out in my head. I think so. I think. Don't be disappointed in me if I don't have it. Although you have every right to. These are puzzles that should be easy. So this opens this one. You might say, isn't that money for Deckard better spent on investments? And let me tell you about investments. I was distressed about Bitcoin going down in value recently until I realized as long as it keeps going down in value, until it hits zero, I'll never have to pay taxes. Because I'll always lose enough per year that gets detected by the IRS as an investment loss and written off. Okay, that works. That actually works. Okay. It's exactly as I expected. Now I have to fucking move 3 of these at a time, though. That's kind of stupid and unreasonable, but it's par for the course in this godforsaken game. I can write this off. There's nothing I need to do here any longer. Been through here. I have 3 of these now. Go away, go away. That ought to do it, right? I can always bring them through with me if I have to. Is that enough, or do I have to bring them through? I can't bring them all anyway. Oh, shit. Well, no, I do need actually to be able to get 2 projectors over here to stop those miniguns. How am I gonna... Fucking... How am I gonna do that? Is it something to do with opening this? It fucking might be, actually. Come to think of it. This might not be the right way, though. There might be a different way. Like opening up these gates back here to bring that... I think that... no, because then you still have to leave one behind. Why are those even there? I don't understand. I don't understand. This gets me nothing, because this just opens up both of those doors again. And then so what? There's still these guys to deal with. So I need 2 projectors to beat this map. How do I do that? It's got to be those back. It's got to be the back door. It's got to be the back door. I need all 3 of these to open up the path through the back door. Giggity. This one will keep this open. I understand how to do it now. Never mind. If they're open from this side, then I can take the projectors with me when I go. I understand completely now. They just have to be on the right side of the force field. But then how do I get this one out? Oh, yeah, I know what I do. I do this. Haha, bitches. How do you like me now? To get that one out of there, I go over here. Actually, now I have all 3 of them. Why don't I just... No, that won't work either, will it? This... that still doesn't make sense. This opens this from this side. Oh, you know what? There's probably another projector in there. That's probably how this works. Oh, baby. I think that's got to be it. There's got to be 4 of them. It's just a sequential puzzle. So grab this one. I take it with me through here because all of these are retrievable now. Because they're on this side of the force field now, I can take all these with me back to the main area I'm trying to get to. I just have to not blow up. This would be a really, really bad time to blow up. And this will let me do this. No, wait, I've been through here. What the fuck? I already been through here. I already got I already got this one. There's got to be something in here I need. The puzzle doesn't make sense otherwise. Okay, I guess there's nothing in here. Huh. So I guess we're stuck with 3 of them. That's what we have to work with. Well, then the question arises, how in the balls are you supposed to stop that just lets you into here. That doesn't help us at all. There's got to be something else I'm missing. Can I grab 2 of these at once? I can't. That'd be really nice if I could. It's like Atari Adventure. You can only carry 1 item at a time. That's what I want in my heart of hearts. What nobody else in the world wants. If devs were catering just to me, there'd be a 3D Atari remake renaissance. Maybe if I can get them in here from the other side, I would be able to bring them with me. Could that work? Was there another one in here I didn't see? Nope, there's not another one here. This is a real brain buster. Well, for my brain anyway, my poor little ham brain. I'm doing all my thinking with a hamster brain. Cut me some slack. There's not another projector there. There's not one. I don't see any more here. Oh, actually, if I freeze one of them, I can sneak around, can't I? There might be hope after all. This might just fucking work. Actually, no, they have overlapping laser fields. This probably won't work. I might be fucking myself and I might have to repeat the whole puzzle. My gut tells me there's something I'm missing, but my balls tell me I'm smart. Also, I never used these 2 doors back here. Surely these are for something. But those go to an area that I've already cleared. I've got every useful thing out of. Unless... if there was some way to make the explosive orbs follow me in here... Explosive orbs destroy turrets. There's got to be something I'm missing. There's got to be. Maybe if I go in while it's turning to one side. Nope, I managed to skirt around it. Holy shit, that's how you do it. That's the only useful lesson it's teaching you, is that you can get away with that. No, it was right there. It was right there. If not that, then how the fuck are you supposed to do it? It can't be. They can't do that. What if it saves it as long as you grab it? What if I just wasn't fast enough? Oh my god. What have I done? What have I done? What have I signed up for? Ugh! I don't even remember how to do this. All my brain power went into solving it the first time. I haven't even a smidgen or a drop left over. 2024 Deckard ships. Middling arm guts for quest standalone decoding. Real shit. Are those your predictions? Let's do this all over again. What do you think the solution is that I didn't do right? I can't bring one inside with me. Maybe I can. Maybe that was what I fucked up. No, that doesn't make sense because you need to immobilize one of them. Actually, maybe you don't. Maybe you can sneak around both of them. Maybe that's what I fucked up, and you bring the thing with you to immobilize. No, because then you can still only immobilize one of them, and the other one still shoots you. That can't be what you do. Well, fucking then what? I still didn't use that path back there, which makes me suspicious. There's something I'm missing. But fucking, what could it be? Heh, but fucking. There's that one. How'd I get in there before? When you were here before, couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. Yes, I have the words to create memorized. What? So what? I was an outcast and a unpopular lad, and I really related to that song, especially What Am I Doing Here, because I was in a fucking fundamentalist school and I didn't believe in any of it. And I was a foolish, superficial boy who had yet to learn an important lesson about not falling head over heels for the most attractive girl present. Which was my fault, and she was a terrible person. Not like in an incel way, like damn her for not reciprocating my interest, but actually everybody hated her. I actually gained points with everybody for telling her off once. And just being like, fuck you, nobody likes you, everybody talks shit about you behind your back, and everyone came to me afterwards and was like, thank you for saying that. Someone had to. But it would have harmed their popularity had they done, so I guess I was the sacrificial lamb. But anyways, I got what I deserved, which was harsh bullying from that girl, which taught me not to idealize people based upon their appearance. That in fact very attractive people can be very terrible, and they often are. Why does this not go through bars? Does that make sense? But anyway, that's who I used to listen to that song and think about. I'm not going to say her name because last time I told someone her name, they looked her up on fucking Facebook and sent a message to her about me, which was mortifying. That she should know that I give her any headspace at all. Fucking over 20 years later. She does not need to know that. No good can come from that knowledge. So now I have all three of them again. But to what end? That's the eternal question. By eternal, I mean sometime in the next 15 minutes. There's a way to get all three of these out of there, isn't there? How did I do it the first time? Oh yeah, wait a minute. I remember now. I use that, and I take these through, and then I use one of them from the other side to open the gate. I got it. Did you ever... What? Of course you did. Did you learn that lesson, and who was it that taught you? Not to simply immediately go for the most attractive person, and that they can be, in fact, horribly cruel. That's a lesson it reiterated to great effect in A Beautiful Mind, where he explains that if you just go for the hottest hottie, that everyone around her will scorn you for doing so, and that you destroy your chances with any of them. But if you choose, and if you pass right by her and choose one of the plainer girls, you not only have a better chance with them because they feel more appreciated that you passed her over, but she gets devalued in the process, which makes her more accessible to someone else. So from a game theory standpoint, you should always go for like the 7 or 8 instead of the 9 or 10. Also, if your girlfriend ever asks you what she is on a scale of 1 to 10, always say 10, you idiot. I said 8 and she cried for hours and wouldn't talk to me, didn't want to see me. You're not supposed to answer honestly. Women beg you to lie to them and they punish you if you don't. They have incredibly fragile self-esteem, or at least the ones I was involved with did. Never answer that honestly. It winds up being a very bad idea. So these are the only 3 shield disruptors. It wasn't tattling. She thought she was helping me. This is somebody who meddles in my social life and thinks that she's a psychiatrist. And she wants to help, but she doesn't know what she's doing and often makes things worse. I did find my first crush, who I never confessed to. Although we shared a first kiss, so I don't know why I thought she didn't understand I liked her. I was the only one who was clueless in that arrangement. Will this work? Or am I wasting my time again? Surely that won't work. It has to. There can't be any other way. This is the only way I can imagine getting this piece. No! Fucking... How can that not be right? How can that be the wrong answer? How can she slap? How can she slap? How can they shoot? How can they shoot? So that's not what you do. You don't just rush for it and grab it before the thing kills you, because it will kill you instantly before you get close enough to touch it. Maybe I need to look around in that room a little more closely. Maybe there's like another shield disruptor in there, possibly. That seems like it wouldn't be right. I also still didn't use that path back there, which I have a sinking suspicion is some part of how you beat this. This feels a lot like the ending of Penumbra, Black Plague, where you find out there's alien communists that test you to see how good of a communist you are. I wish I was lying. I didn't like that twist in Penumbra Black Plague. Otherwise, a stellar fucking game. A superb game. But at the end, you find out the fetus zombies are just drones of alien communist hive mind that doesn't accept you because you're not a communist. And that's really the story. Spoiler alert. It's a little late for that. Okay, now, this way. Fuck, I'm hungry and completely out of money, by the way. I know someone is getting an extra $50 because of me. If they wanted to send me the remaining 20 and call that even, that would be greatly appreciated. If not, I guess I still have emergency chili and rice. Chili and rice is food. I guess it's just my fault if I don't like surviving on reasonably priced food. I haven't gone to the pantry yet either. I need to go to the pantry. They probably have good stuff there. Or maybe, maybe not. Probably people who actually need it go there all the time and get it before I do. No way to know unless I find out though. Okay, so I do this. Then I grab this one. Gonna have to do the whole thing in reverse pretty soon. Unless, what if I try something different this time? There's more than one way to solve this. If I have these both on this side. No, actually there isn't. I need to get all three first. I forget what I was doing. Oh yeah. As long as you have two of these, you can get them through any barrier. It's a good rule to remember. Oh, you played that too? Isn't it fucking superb? But everybody loves on it so much and they sleep on Overture. I know some people who played Black Plague on recommendation and never played Overture. And I'm like, you what, mate? How could you... They're kind of a package deal. One is a direct continuation of the other. And also, Clarence is kind of Reddit. You know what I mean? Clarence is kind of a... sounds like fucking Gilbert Gottfried. And he's kind of a funny haha meme character. Like, haha, he calls human monkey. Is that a buzzword, calling things Reddit as an adjective stretched so thin that it doesn't make sense here? I feel it does. I feel Clarence, if anything's Reddit, Clarence is Reddit. If Clarence is not Reddit, then nothing is. Well, actually, this might be an easier way to get them out. Since I have enough to do it with. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do. Maybe that was intended to make your life easier and I never detected it. Actually, no, it's a dead end. I'm stupid. The thing is, you can't really subtract Clarence. Clarence is like an integral part of the plot. Oh, it goes through here. I think, maybe. Of Black Plague. So if you take Clarence out of the game, you don't really have a whole lot of game left. If he'd just been like less quippy, he would have been more tolerable. He's a wisecracking alien Thetan. It's basically what he is. He's a Scientology Thetan. This will let me get all three through easily. This is, I think, what you're supposed to do to save time versus how I did it, which was the long way. You also need all three to get through here, so far as I can tell. Anyways, so that's probably, in fact, what you're intended to do. Hello, little cat. I love you dearly, even though I'm in VR. You're more important to me than any technology. She's relaxing on my lap. It's so dope to have a cat relax on your lap. Makes me feel like a billionaire. It makes me feel like at least 1% of the luxury that a billionaire feels is just having a well-groomed black cat lounging on your lap and just petting her and feeling her soft fur. This is indeed what you're supposed to do, because it does need all three of them, so that kind of makes sense. The question is then, how the fuck... There's also a second window in that corridor I haven't used for anything. That one over there. See what I'm pointing at? Which makes me think I still don't fully understand. There's at least one thing left I haven't understood correctly. Then again, with three of these... Wait a minute. With three of these, I should be able to get them through... I should be able to get all three of these through the portals. Why haven't I tried that before? Oh, god damn it, I am stupid. The worst I feared is true. You should indeed be able to get all three of these through the portals just by using the same trick I just did. That's what that's there for, is to teach you how to do this. Ah, fuck. Oh, man, I just made a new connection in my brain and it hurt really badly. You're supposed to do this. It's so obvious now. That's always mind-blowing how something that you couldn't figure out before could be so obvious to you a moment later. Like looking at past you 2 seconds ago and like, are you even... Bro, are you sentient? Show me your thumbs. Are they opposable? Bro. See? That's what I was supposed to do. Then I can do this. And I can disable both guns. I was always able to do that. If I just thought a little bit harder about what I was doing instead of trying to rush to the end. Like I said, it's a Pyrrhic victory. I feel smart, but also really stupid that it took me this long to figure this out. The important thing this is teaching me is how to use a series of 3 force field disruptors to make it through double doors and to take all 3 of them with me, which might be how you beat that other puzzle, come to think of it. I might be able to go back and beat that one now. That might be what the purpose of that was. You come this far. Is there anything through here? There's a terminal. I'd have to sit up and disrupt the cat on my lap, which is not happening. I'll just never know what this says. And that's that. Can I make it over there, I wonder? Or will an invisible wall stop me? It shouldn't. In Serious Sam 1, you can actually run all the way out in the desert. If you go far enough, you find a cache of weapons and health. And then a bunch of enemies spawn. No invisible wall. Come on, come on. No invisible wall. Yeah, it doesn't let me. Oh shit, I got them all. There actually aren't any more left. But there are 2 stars I didn't get. I can live with that. Peter Arco role place. It seems we're becoming close friends. Don't be afraid of the friend the serpent. Penetrate your breasts. I've seen some pretty good animation of that. There's no hope, always boxed in, walls everywhere. Even when there seems to be freedom, it's false. Invisible walls, no way out. Who invited this guy? That's a good question. Other guy. Such a deal. Ooh, fucking woo. And we have, in fact, unlocked both of the power-ups for this area. Which makes me wonder if we can't go in the tower now. Oh, we skipped one. We didn't even do this one yet. We actually were in the tower, aren't we? That's stupid of me. Aren't we? No, we're in one of the little side pocket things. There's like side buildings. What a lot of content. This is really synchronous with the story I'm writing, the Blue Light Chronicles, because it's also kind of about the utility of faith. That it can keep people going for long periods of time in the absence of complete information about their situation. I've got such a warm lap right now. I love this cat. Oh, wait, what? Oh, one of them records and the other... Uh-oh. Did this just become Blinks the Time Sweeper? Cooperation in mind. But I'm the only one here. It is Blinks the Time Sweeper. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, then, that's how that works. Okay. Haha, bitches. Well, if you're going to copy from the best, right? God, Penumbra. That has a VR mod, too. I could stream that in VR. It doesn't work the best. HPL engine is not really made for that. Then again, neither was Doom 3. I think the shortcoming is they tried to map the tools and weapons to your hands. But you don't swing them to use them. You pull the trigger and they go like that, like in Minecraft, which makes it kind of fiddly to play. It is entirely playable, though. Another puzzle, another voice telling me I'm special, another broken down computer. You don't hit the off switch. Oh, edgy much. There's even robot fedoras. What a future. So there's a dating app called Boo that I've been playing around in. I'm not actually going to date anyone from it because I have postnasal drip and that makes me a revolting monster. I don't feel any confidence in my ability to keep a relationship while I have this condition. And this condition will persist so long as I live here. But just to play around, see what my options are. Uh-oh. Oh, I see. Is that on a timer? You should be able to just turn it off. Hello, Blinks clone. That's what I was seeing earlier. Remember when I saw the ghosts? That's what I was looking at. There's recordings. Some of these are just freebies to teach you stuff. Are the tutorial puzzles even real puzzles? Did they count? I guess if you get a piece, then it counts. Got that one. This is a fun game, though. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. This is mostly what I want to do in VR. The rest of what I want to do is something like Skyrim, but not fantasy themed. I've talked about this before. Nobody makes it. Is a virtual world like Tron themed Skyrim game, where there's branching storylines and there's different quests to do. How does this work? Is there something over here? There's not. Is there a block in here? No, there isn't. Huh. Aha, I figured it out. I thought it was something like that. There's a slight delay, which you can exploit. I'm on a roll, kind of. It's not fine. I don't want to feel gross. I want to get in a better situation where I don't have these health problems. But I also want a Deckard, so those are kind of incompatible. Thing is, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what Rend is now. If I could find some hack, some cheat, some workaround. Like, if I had a wealthy friend who had multiple properties and would let me just stay at one for free. Then again, that's like wishing for cotton candy sunrises and pony kisses and kitten dreams. Ain't gonna happen. I just basically need to be able to live independently without rent. Which is an extremely unrealistic fantasy. An unreasonable expectation. But if I could live long enough independently in a different environment, or clean this one well enough, my hacking cough would clear up. Haha. These are all thoughts very familiar to me, which you have heard me talk about at length in that video about how I'm a crackpot. Ravings of a lunatic. So nothing that innovative there. Doesn't open for long enough. What if I put this over here? Haha. Just on a timer. Have to get this guy. Ooh, I felt a spider on my hand. Ooh, gross. Don't you do that, spider. Oh, there's a fan up there. And there's a cat standing on my desk. It doesn't work, cat. You can't block the monitor when I have this on my head. You poor fool. Wow. They all have to be staggered first. We gotta stagger these. Here we go. That ought to do it. Haha, bitches. That's right. On the way to beat the Airbnbification of all property. Become a turnover servicer. I've read about those. I mean, theoretically, a lot of them were fake news stories to drum up clicks. It's just homeless people who sneak into houses and find, like, hollow spaces. Some of them are real. The one about the couple living in the Walmart attic was not true. Unfortunately, I should have known because they had really funny mugshots. But yeah, to someone who lives my existence, VR is essential. So if Deckard is actually good shit, I'll pull out the stops and even cash out some crypto to afford it. Because the only thing I don't like about Index, besides the fact that it's not standalone, is I would really like a Pimax FOV, but I don't trust Pimax build quality or software. I've heard about people complaining that little niggles, like the chromatic aberration and distortion around the edges, but praising the very high FOV, which seems like Valve should be able to do as well. But then again, they wouldn't make their standalone a big and heavy unit like that, would they? More likely would be index parity FOV with a much higher resolution or something. And it was gone. Was that somebody trying to hack the Matrix or some shit? I love how every puzzle does something that hasn't already been done before. I appreciate that. Is that good enough? Almost. Fuck, it's so close. God damn it. Really? Why? Why is that way? This must not be what I meant to do at this juncture. It's testing my ability to delay gratification. There's a button in there which has to... There's another... That's the one I left behind. No, that is the third one. Aha, bitches. Okay, I need to get a block, apparently. That's what I do over there, okay. So I get the block, I come back here with it. How do you think of this many original puzzles based on so few mechanics? That is astonishing. And make sure that there's not any other way to solve them, too. I have a lot of respect for puzzle designers. It's one thing to be able to solve puzzles. It's another entirely to be able to design a good puzzle. That's the goal, for which we need to boost one of these up and over. I've done this before. This is actually not an original puzzle exactly. It's a repeat. Ah, cat. Ah! Don't be scared. It's okay if you hurt me. Just crawling up on my chest with your sharp, tiny little claws. No, I still need this one. Still need this one for now. This is what I gotta do. This has to go here. Has to go... That'll boost it up into the air. Now I have a red power source available. I don't have to come back in here either, so that frees up both of these. Or one of them anyway. Then I can simply go from here over here. That's a puzzle I already did. No, wait, that doesn't work. Almost. Has to be over here. Same difference. I've done that one before. Why did you repeat it? I guess it was a banger. It was a good one, so... Poor guy. What lives rent free in my head is a trucker who saved up like 60 grand. And it was his life savings. And put it all into BitConnect. You fucking remember BitConnect? The world's most obvious crypto MLM? I think, based God, Omarion, that I did not ever spend any money on crypto. I may have wasted my labor writing, but I was able to double dip and reuse that writing on other platforms, at least until I got banned off Medium. In the most congenial way possible, I wish for every Medium employee and shareholder to get AIDS and then die of that AIDS. Not quickly. I want them to have like a glimmer of hope that they're recovering before it happens. BitConnect. I was around for that. I watched that happen in real time. Poor bastards who put their money into something just for it to immediately disappear. Final memory life short. Terminated here. Progeny programs dog. Fatal flaw in series firmware. Oh. So that was Dog's father, it would seem. Dog the Bounty Hunter. He was in this Matrix with me. I would be surprised if that guy didn't blow his brains out, honestly. The trucker. Or the guy who bankrupted his aging mother and father and out of their retirement money. There's no coming back from that. Can I trap myself in here? Would it allow me to? Oh, there's a ladder. Never mind. They thought of everything. The question is now how to do this one. It receives power from two sources. I can't block that with a crate because it's coming from two angles. What can I do? Yeah, no, that's one of the defining properties. That's specifically a Ponzi scheme. Guaranteed returns because they pay off every new investor with money from the prior round. So it's coming from in there. The power. I can't just climb up on there, can I? That's not a short wall. Would it let me do that? I can block one of these. Oh, you know what I can do? Is use my clone to block the laser. Watch this. Hang on, I gotta let my cat out or she's gonna shit the carpet. I know what cats want. They want to be let out to go mangle enemy. She has an enemy cat. I don't know. I don't think the other cat's hostile to her, but she's sure as fuck hostile to him or her. Whoops. I squandered that time letting the cat out. I'm glad to see Blinks the Time Sweeper gameplay come back. I love that game. I don't think this is going to solve it. So there's two of us, and we're both blocking the laser. Oh, I see. No, almost. Oh, that's how you do it, though. That is indeed how you do it. Question is, do I go left or right once I get past that fan? I guess I can just remove it from the wall. Ha, bitches! You motherfucker! Oh, but I have to wait through the recording. Otherwise, I reset everything. It was to the right, not the left. Same difference. These are really getting difficult. It teaches you layer by layer. It's really... And to think the sequel has portals on top of everything else. A mechanic that Valve made an entire fucking game out of. By itself. There's a little more to it than that, but not much. This is going to have portals on top of Blinks the Time Sweeper. Gameplay... I fucking did them all. Before I even knew what was happening. Oh, Eternal Life. Already wrong. What's the ending going to be? That I download into a robot in a dead world? That's going to be a fucking bummer if that's really the ending. That I'm the winner, so I get to leave the simulation and exist in the real world. If there's not at least one other robot to accompany me. Maybe there'll be like 100 robots waiting for people to solve the puzzles and I'll eventually have company. Don't spoil it for me. I will kill you 1,000 times. I need to come back and read the lore at some point, but this is not going to be that time. Still more to do. Then again, think about how long ancient Greece took us to clear. Yeah, okay. They're all dead, though. Why is this empty? Did this used to be a puzzle? I am made in humanity's image, though. I am special. I'm special. This is kind of a natural selection, isn't it? For robots to evolve smarter AI. But they're only really selecting for reasoning ability. I feel proud of myself. There are some of those I didn't think I was ever going to solve. There's also one that I skipped, if you'll recall. Which I have to go back and do later. Easy peasy. It's going to be another Levitate the Beacon episode, isn't it? I don't see anything too special yet. They wouldn't do it 3 times, would they? They fucking would, actually. Boy, this sure seems familiar. This sure seems familiar to me. Were they running low on puzzles? And they had to copy and paste a few? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, that's not as simple as I thought it was. I spoke too soon. Is there a line of sight from here to there? There actually isn't. There actually isn't. I would need one more beacon for that to work. Indeed, I spoke too soon. There's some other secret. Was there anything in here I missed? Nope, doesn't look like it. So it's got to be solvable with what I've got. What if I do this? Will it let me do this? I bet you it will. Like, preset that. And then activate it. Oh, fucking, are you fucking serious? I'm close, though. I think I'm close. How can that not be it? How can that not be it? Where are there other locations for a fan? I don't see any. I don't see any other sockets to put fans on. It's got to be something about interrupting the beam. Maybe... Almost. I could jump from here to somewhere. Then we'd be talking. I can. What does that get me? Anything? I don't think so. Fuck. Hang on. Let's restart this. I think I've got it though. I've got to use the wind to put the beacon somewhere else. It's not in here. I'm getting nervous lately about some of the chaos of Portland bleeding over into the surrounding areas. Nothing's going to be done until it reaches rich areas like Lake Oswego. By that time, a huge portion of the suburban belt around Portland will be no man's land. I need to be out of here before then. I know the solution's not to run away from problems, but to solve them, but I'm just one man. What can I do? Let's see. Click that. Click that. No, that resets it. That instantly resets it. Guess I need to go here. I need to get this in a position where it can hit that. Which I believe involves going here and doing this. Doing that. And jumping on the wall. Not that wall, it can't be. It'd have to be like one of these. That's not really possible from here, though. That's even an even worse position. Would that work? This seems stupid. Is it going to let me do this? It fucking will. I'm stupid. I can't believe that didn't occur to me until now. It's just about the order in which you set the connection priorities. Okay, alright. So I have to preset that next time. Alright. I guess so. Who are you that you are so wise in these ways, Strider Gif? What do you know of such matters that you're not telling us? Is that a Singaporean saying? You know what's going to be a bitch? One of these times, I guarantee you, they're going to have us connect a laser between different puzzle areas. And they're not going to tell us which one it is before we have to do it. This is so beautiful. But this just highlights why I want higher resolution. As much as I like the FOV on Index, everything's just kind of shimmery and pixely. And it's not bad close up. Close up, I couldn't tell the difference if it was higher resolution. It's really well hidden close up, but in the distance, things get kind of fucky. Interesting. What I fucking tell you? There's one of these here. And there's a star here, which would mean that in order to solve this one, you have to get a laser from the puzzle area. How in the hell? I'll come back and do that later. Now's not the time. Actually, what time is it? We're not right up on quitting time yet. We're getting close. Ish. We got most of an hour left. Let me just tell you about my priorities. Like when I was dating Sandra, if you could call it that, I had the option to spend $300 of my money either on a Quest 2, so she could and I could spend more time together in VR chat, or on a plane ticket, I guess, to go see her if I could get one for that little money. Probably not. Or on a robot for myself. Do you want to guess what I spent it on? I can't help myself with robots. I'll choose them over women any day of the week, unfortunately. What a lovely looking game. Then again, she dumped me, so on the one hand, that would have been money down the toilet. On the other hand, I could still see her and hang out with her, and I do enjoy her company. What the fuck is this? Are you kidding me? Is this really possible to do? Oh, my head hurts. I don't know what to do here. That doesn't solve the problem either, though. Because then I can't levitate this. I need to turn off the recording. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe that was the point of it. I think it's something like this. No. I can multiply them. What the fuck? Why are there two of them now? Was that a glitch? Can I... Wait, will that work over and over? Will that continue to work? Will that continue to make more crates for me? Or was that a glitch? I do see two of them. No. I misunderstood something. Maybe there's only two. I think I got it now. Okay, so that goes there. But nothing... Laser's not what opens this, though. Is there a ladder? If there's not, I have to reset. I did soft lock myself. Okay, so the duplication trick is how you get more crates. Unless I fucking... No, that was a glitch. I was never supposed to have that. That was a beautiful, glorious glitch. Unless... Where did I get the second cube from? What did I do last time? No, that's... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So apparently I glitched it last time. There we go. There we go. That's what I needed to do. But then I don't have the cube I need. That's the last step to open up the... Fuck. So I solved it, but I also kind of didn't. But I also can't get that down now. Unless I jump from underneath it. Oh, I'm too tired for this. Fuck my fucking brain. Is there a ladder to get in here? There's not. I think I'm stuck. Yep, I'm stuck. There's a lot of ways to soft lock yourself. I'll reset to reset. Okay, so I need the cube first to get through these gates. After that, I do something else with it. Let me experiment. No, that's not it. That's not it. Is this it? It's gotta be. That's gotta be it. Fucking aha. This doesn't actually get me where I need to go, though, does it? Something to do with this. I'm not big enough brain for this. I don't know. I'm getting tired. I don't know if I can stick it out. In fact, yeah, I think I'm going to end a little bit early tonight. Did you enjoy the Atari? Some of you were too late to see the Atari. You missed magnificent Atari games. Live with that regret. I don't think I'll stream those again. You've basically seen the entire worthwhile 7800 library, as much as it pains me to confess to that. But thank you very much for joining. I got some work to do if I want to have a video out at any point. I've been dragging my feet on that video. I don't know what it's going to be. There's bad news, by the way. For those of you who stuck it out to the end of the video, you get a preview. Remember that corrosive spray I bought to make it easier to remove silicone sealant from the habitat shells? That apparently also greatly weakened the plastic the habitats were made out of, because the hinge completely busted. All the plastic bits holding the hinges together cracked and came apart and just crumbled. Which leaves, where does that leave me? Like, what can I salvage? I can probably salvage the gate valve. I can probably salvage I can definitely salvage the weights. I might be able to salvage the ballast pods, but other than that, I have to basically start completely over, which leaves me lost, like where I am with this project. I'm thinking that the next thing to do is to put the old habitats back in the aquarium so people have something to look at, so they can see underwater rodents. I don't know how to break it to my audience, though, that I fucked up that badly. I basically have to start completely over, unless I want to spend a long time scraping down plastic and getting every little bit of silicone off it. I used silicone in the first place, so I would have that option. But really, probably the smart thing to do is to start over, instead of trying to clean the pieces well enough to make them watertight again. I cannot believe this happened. It's an important lesson to learn, but a very expensive one to learn. I really regret that I learned it the way that I did. I won't do that again. All of this could have been avoided if I sealed it properly the first time that I put the pieces together and didn't have to redo it. And if I hadn't left it sitting with the corrosive, whatever you call that stuff on it. Because that's probably what did it, is leaving it sitting for long periods with that stuff on it. Because I thought that would help it work better. That's going to be expensive to rebuild everything completely. I'm sorry to break the bad news. I can still build Aqua Bubble. I may be able to do other cheaper experiments in the meantime, like the underwater ant farm. But other than that, not looking forward to talking about that on YouTube. That's why there hasn't been a video in a long time, plus the project of installing my AC and air exchanger. So sorry to end the stream on a downer. But there will be more of this, whatever it is, on Wednesday. Same ham time, same ham channel. That's 7 o'clock p.m. West Coast time to 11 o'clock p.m. This is your friendly neighborhood ham dad, signing off and returning you to your regularly scheduled sleepy time.